Good day, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss about the public policy process. Now, let us define public policy. It is defined as a system of laws, regulatory measures, courses of action, and funding priorities concerning a given topic promulgated by a governmental entity or its representatives. For its purpose, public policy focuses on the decisions that create the outputs of a political system, such as transport policies, the management of a public health service, the administration of the system, schooling, and the organization of defense force. Now, to shorten this definition and focus or the purpose of public policy is a system of rules, laws, or actions or projects that is implemented by our government in order to fix the certain issues that bothers our community, or to provide some programs that will benefit our society. So this includes the climate change, where our national government obliged the local government units to avoid or to restrict the illegal logging in their certain place and provide funds to plant more trees. Second, the Disaster Risk Management Act, or this includes where the government workers like the fireman or the policeman go to the different schools of their community, especially in high school or elementary, to provide some informations of what you need to do in order to survive if there are any disaster that will happen in the future, like earthquakes or storms. And next, stages of public policy. First is the agenda setting or identification of issues. Second is policy formulation. Third, policy adoption and legitimization. Fourth, policy implementation. And fifth, policy evaluation. Now, let us discuss identification of issues. So, identifying the problems that causes dissatisfaction to the public. So, when we say the identification of issues, these are the problems that really bothers our society, as I have stated earlier. Like for example, if that area is prone in accidents, or there is an increased unemployment rate, or there are any malnutrition kids in that province or community. Now, for the agenda setting, is the process or behavior to adopt social issue or problem as a public policy problem. In the process, social issue or problem is chosen as a governmental issue. So when we say agenda setting, these are the plans or what you want to do in order to fix that problem that bothers your community. Like for example, I want to lessen the unemployment rate in my province. I want to lessen or to remove the malnutrition kids in our certain place. Now, to the policy formulation, discussing, suggesting, and approaches to correcting problems that have been raised as part of the agenda. Formulation of policies or solutions in order to fix the issue. So, these are the actions what you need to do, just like the agenda. It is just a plan for the agenda. However, for the policy formulation, how can you apply it? What are the specific steps in order to fix that certain issue? Like for example, if there are any increase of unemployment rate in your certain province, then what you need to do is to allow the foreign investors to invest in that particular area. Or if there are any a lot of children that are malnourished, then what you need to do is to have a program that will encourage the social media or any other persons to donate some goods in order to at least help those children. Now, for the policy adoption or legitimization. So it's approved as a result of the statements or actions of government officials. It is the stage during which decisions that are made at the governmental level, resulting in a decision that favors one or more approaches to addressing a given problem. So let us put this into a situation where there are any problem in your community. As a citizen in this country, it is very common to us that there are issues that is happening in our environment. So what you need to do is to report those issues to your government officials like your kagawad or the chairman. So they will probably create a policy or propose a policy to the mayor. So it is up to the mayor if he or she will approve that policy. Now, for the policy implementation is when the action is taken to address a public problem. At this stage, the design of a public proposal is put into the effect and the policy is implemented by the respective government departments and agencies in conjunction with other organizations as required. So, when we say public policy implementation, your policy is already approved by the officials of a of the government. So it will be implemented. If your area is prone to accidents, then there will be speed bumps or pedestrian lane that will be built in order to avoid that. So policy evaluation is the systematic collection and analysis of information to make judgments about context, activities, characteristics, or outcomes of one or more domain of a public policy. So, after that the policy is implemented, it will probably take days or months. There are what you need to do is to ask the thoughts or opinions about the people if your policy is very effective or ineffective, if it really bothers them or if it benefits them, if it will be continued or if it is not. So let us proceed to the picture. So what we see here is one of the examples of public policy. Now let me give you a situation. The issue is this area is prone to accidents, especially to the children. So our agenda is to avoid or to lessen those accidents that is happening. So our policy formulation is to probably build pedestrian lane or speed bumps to make our drivers or reckless drivers aware that there are children that is crossing to this road. So and after that, after you have formulated your policy, then it needs funds or consent of a government officers in order to build those projects or ideas that you want to be implemented. And after that, it is implemented. It is up to the public if the policy that is applied shall be continued or not, if it is really effective or ineffective, or does it bothers them or does it benefits them. So if it is yes, then good job. If it is not, then we shall proceed to general guidelines for changing policies and choosing tactics. So if your policy that is implemented currently really bothers the people, then there must be a problem about it, because we all know that when we apply or impose a policy, our only goal is to provide benefits, especially to the community. So first is preparation. Be ready for changing the policy. Conduct research to further understand the issue. So let me give you, or let me cite you a situation where we know that the road is prone to accident. So you impose a policy or implemented a policy to build an overpass. So and after that, they're circulating opinions that overpass is not safe anymore. So what you need to do is to investigate about it. Or does the structure is really damaged, or does it will cause harm in the future, or are there any people that is living in that area that causes harm to the public? um, that's one of the those examples. Now second, plan carefully for policy change to ensure that your overall ideas make sense. Expecting the unexpected is important. So when we say planning, your ideas must be concrete. And also, um, to what I have stated earlier about the specific issues, like if the overpass building is damaged, or there are people who are living that causes fear to the public, what you need to do is to fix those policies. Like for example, obliging the police to only visit that area once, uh, to throw away or those people who are dangerous. And second, if there are any damage to that building, then what you need to do is to provide a policy that will rebuild it again. Now third, personal contact. Establish and maintain a contact with those who influence and make public policies. So this includes the mayor, the kagawads, or the barangay chairman that approve or create a policy. So you cannot change your policy without their approval. That's why they are very important, because they are the one who is in the authority and who is tasked by higher government to help this community innovate. Now, the fourth is pools of the community. Get the attention of the community interest towards that goal, so they will understand the problem and support you of achieving it. So, if you are just the one who is criticizing about this policy, then the government officials will not probably take actions of it, because they will probably say that others are not complaining, but why are you complaining? But if you have the public interest or the public attention over you, and they will support you, then our government officials, especially the mayors, are obliged to do or to fix those issues that bothers their community, because we are the people, we are a citizen, and we vote them to sit in their respective um, office. Now, positivism, where you choose the tactics that emphasize the positive. So when choosing, your policy must be beneficial to the people. That when you want to change the policy, the result will always and must have an outcome to benefit the people. Because what is the purpose of policy if it is only interest you? Because it must be a public interest. 6. Participation. involve as many as people in the strategic planning and action. So as I've stated earlier, involve the community, involve the mayor, or involve the um, any other public officials to lessen the time or to um, for the in order for your policy to be implemented rapidly, because the many people that support it, the more it will gain attention, especially to the public officials. 7. Publicity. Use media connections or even oral communication to keep people informed the latest updates about the issues. So now that we are living in the modern era, it is necessary and common for us to use social media, because there are things that we cannot do alone. But with the use of social media or cell phones or connections, you may be able to give information to the public that this policy must be implemented, or if it is not implemented. Because as the world um, because the world is too big in order for you to inform the public, it will probably take years for you in order for you to probably um, um, spread the information of about that certain issue. So the lastly is persistence. um, Policy change can take a lot of time to be revised and implemented. Monitor and evaluate your actions to make sure they are having desired effect, and change them if they are not. So, is as a political science student, I truly understand that there are some delays of implementing public, policy, because there are any issues that is more important to that, or much first that is created by that issue. So what you need to do is to wait. If there are any improvements, then good. If there are not, then there is a social media that you can use to spread those informations or corruptions. Now, that is all. Thank you, everyone.